All right, so first of all, screencast 5. Hold on a second. My arrow key. All right, so you guys can see that. Let's look at the example real quick. So if you're doing this, so they have a number line from 650 to 660, right? Well, I know that the difference between 650 and 660 is how much? What is the difference between those two numbers? What does difference mean? Anybody know what the word difference means? No, not one person can tell me what the word difference means. Is that true? Did anybody know if I say what's the difference between $10 and $20? What is the difference between $10 and $20? I'm assuming everybody's working on math right now. Okay, well, I will say that difference means to subtract, okay? So difference, I actually have one of those pens. Difference. The difference means to, difference means to subtract. And so
I'm done. What do I do when I'm finished?
all 4 pages?
Mr. Nelson, what do I do when I'm
Did you
finished?
do all 4 pages?
I'm also done.
Did you do all 4 pages? I just realized I was talking the whole time and no one answered me, and I just realized that I was on mute.
I did all 4 pages.
So the word difference means to find the difference between the two numbers, the change.
So where do we sum of it's like the sum of addition. I mean of subtraction.
Okay, Mac.
What do we do
Mac,
when we're done that?
Page 15 to like page 19.
15
so Mac, did you do all the pages?
Yeah. I'm really good at rounding.
All 4? So did you do the Mac, can you hold on one second? Please, I'm speaking. So you can do the extension activities from yesterday and today if you haven't done those yet. Which are the thinking cap activities. There's one for today and tomorrow, or yesterday. All right, so if you can see there's 10, if I subtract 660 from, and this magic number is the number of numbers between, so I know if the difference is 10 and there's 10 lines, then I know that's 651 is right here. And then 652, 653, 654, 655, and 656, which is what they did, okay? Now, the last question they want to know is they said, okay, you're rounding. Rounding means, are you closer to, if you're rounding something, it means, are you closer to this number or are you closer to that number, okay? And they're using the tens place. So they're rounding. They want to know if 656 is closer to 650 or 660, because that's the tens place. And as you can see, this X right here, this is the middle, and that X is closer to this side. So the X is closer to 660, and they did that, right? So here they're giving you 9,700 and 9,800, okay? And it says that 9,709 rounded to the nearest 100. So we're looking at hundreds. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 places. So and the difference between 9,700 and 9,800. Let's find out. I want to find out the difference because I want to know how many numbers are in between. Subtract 9,700. So that's 0, 0. 8 minus 7 is 1, and 0. So it's 100. So I have to fill in 100 between there, and there's 10 places. So if I count to 100 and I have 10, and I count by tens, how many tens are in 100? No one? Okay, so 10. So like this would be 9,710. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. So right there would be, I'm sorry. Let me see if I can write this in really small. So 9,710. So 9,710 right there. That's this one, okay? Now they want me to put on the number line 9,709. So if that's 9,710, that means that the 709 is right before it, right? So that's where my number is. My number is going to be right there. It's right next to 7,900 or 9,710. Now the question is, what is it closest to 9,700 or 9,800? Now here's the halfway point. So is that 9,709? Is that closest to here? Or is it closer to here? So there's the x. The x is right there. And you write down which number it's closest to. And that's pretty obvious. I mean, it's pretty close over here. All right. All right, the next one we have 31,600. So this is 31,000, and that's 32,000. What's the difference between those two numbers? There's 1,000 difference. So 32,000 and 31,000, there's 1,000 is the difference between the two. All right, and I like to show my work, so I'm going to show you that there's 32,000 minus 31,000, because I'm going to find the difference. And it's 0, 0, 0, 1. So it's 1,000 as the difference between those two numbers. And if I count by tens, I have to count up by hundreds. So this would be 31,100. So that would be, right there would be 31,100. Right there. And then the next, this would be 31,200, 31,300. And this, I'm going to mark the middle one. The middle one is 31,500. Okay. And then this is 31,600. So this is where I got to put my X, because I'm counting up by hundreds. That's 31,600 right there. Now this is the middle. This is the middle. I always like to say, when you're rounding a number, you want to know where the middle is. The middle is always the 5. The middle is the 500. So is it closer to 31,000 or is that X closer to 32,000? Which side of the middle is it on? And then you've got to record that. 32,000. Right, 32,000. So it's closer to that side. So we'll put it 32,000 in here. I'm glad at least one person's listening to me. It's kind of sad if I'm talking to myself. All right, so hopefully that helps with the first two, and you guys can continue on for the rest. I'll leave that up there for a second, and then I'm going to wipe it out. I'm going to erase it, because if I move the page, remember, when you move the page, look at that. It's crazy. There you go.
Mr. Nelson,
Yes.
can we go to the bathroom?
Yes. Go ahead. I'm debating if I just keep growing my hair really, really long, or I get a haircut. Puppies of the world unite.
What do I do after the thinking cap activities?
Are you done with everything? Did you finished your writing?
I didn't finish my writing yet, no.
Okay, well, you can work on your writing. You could also work on your did you do your brochure?
Alright.
Brochure writing. There's a plethora of things. Any kind of math. You did all your math checkpoints. You're good. All right, I'm going to wipe this out. Okay, I think that's enough time for everybody. All right, cool. Okay, so moving down, round each number to the nearest thousands. So when you're rounding to the thousands, I just want to point out that you're looking at the thousands place. So make sure these, whenever you're rounding, you look at thousands. So the thousands, I'm underlining it. You got to know what it is. There's a thousands place. You're only rounding these numbers. So in order to round them, you have to look at the next number. And if that next number, so here we have a 6. If that's 6, if it's 5 or greater, that number rounds up to the next 1,000. So that number would round up to 6,000, okay? Because that's the next number is a 6. So if you look at it, it's kind of like 56. Is 56 closer to 50, or is that 56 closer to 60? Okay, that's kind of how I look at it always. Like I use those numbers. Number 4, you have 95, so it's a 5, so it would go up. So the question is it 95 closer to 90, or is it closer to 90, or is it closer to 100? And if it's 100, that actually will go up. This is tricky because that 9 goes up to a 10, and that 10 would be like actually a 10,000. And all the numbers after that place value turn into zeros. Always. Here's a number 5 is 1,399. So it's like I always look at the 1 and the 3. So it's like a 13. And your question is it 13 closer to 10? Or is that 13 closer to 20? Uh, 10 or 20?
10.
10, right. So we're going to make that a 10. So I don't remember, all the rest of them become zeros. So 1,000. Okay. Now this number 6 is a little tricky because you have a 10,000s place. You do not touch the 10,000s place unless this number is a 9 and it goes up. So we're not going to worry about that. 7 stays the same. It's going to stay as 7. We only care about the 2, the 22 actually. So that 2,245. So it's 2,000. The next number is a 2. So that's kind of like 22. So I'm looking at 22 there. And I say, is that 22 closer to 20? Or is that 22 closer to 30? And I think 22 is closer to 20, right? So that's going to become, and that's going to stay a 2, and it'll become 72,000. So the nearest thousands is 2,000. And you can look at the whole number, 2,245. So it's like, is 2,245 closer to 2,000, or is it almost up to 3,000? And you can see clearly that's way closer to, it's way closer to 2,000. So you do the rest of them like that, okay? Remember, the thousands place is the one I underlined. It's right next to the comma, but I use both numbers. So this one's kind of easy. Number 7, is 30 closer to 30, or is 30 closer to 40? And it stays, right? So that would stay 4. And the 4 is in the 100,000s. We don't care about it. 7 is the 10,000s. We only care about the thousands place. So that's going to say 3,000, okay? We only care about that place value. All right, I hope that was helpful. Is that a little helpful, Amy? Help you a little bit? Okay, good. And then this number 8, you got 69,547. Now here's a tricky one because the 9, that's 95, right? And 95, I said if it's a 5 or above, it goes up. If it's 4 or less, it stays the same. So it stays the same. So here we have a 5. So that 95 is going to go to 100. And the thing is, if you make that 100, or you make it, you add the 10, that 1 is going to go onto the 6. So 69,500 will go up to, what's the next 1,000? 69,000 goes up to what 1,000? What's 1,000 more?
70,000.
70,000, right. So it goes up to 70,000. And that's when you do change the tens. So remember I said you don't touch the 10,000s, but if the 9 goes up to 10, you have to give it boosts the number up to 70,000. So that's the only exception to the rule on that, okay? All right, so do you try to do the last two? We did all those together. And I'm actually going to open up a new Seesaw page. Okay. If you got it written down, great. If you need it, remember it's in your workbook. This is page 15 in your workbook, okay? Don't forget. All right. I'm going to wipe it out. I'm going to stop my recording too. How do I stop my recording? Stop.